By now, many of us have made New Year's resolutions, and I know we less than a week into the year, but a large majority of us have already failed.
We're losing! Teamwork, guys, more teamwork. They're burying us alive!
I had to throw that in there because this is just so drop dead hilarious. But we're either doing what we said we wouldn't, or we're not doing what we said we would. And it's like, should we even make New Year's resolutions if we're not going to follow through? Which leads to another question. Should Christians make New Year's resolutions? Let's get it.
I'ma grind till they know thee, till they recognize the only he's the way.
My name is Jermaine, and thank y'all for joining us on That Christian Fam. If growing in the faith is important to you, hit that subscribe button, because over here we like to encourage, empower, and give you everyday practical Christian advice on real life situations. We drop videos whenever we drop videos, so hit that notification bell, because for the first hour we respond to comments immediately. All right, y'all, let's jump right into it. Should Christians make New Year's resolutions? First of all, what is a resolution? Now, when you think about a resolution in the modern term, a lot of times it's empty wishes with no teeth to it. Like, we throw out things that sound good. Oh, I want to lose weight this year, or I want to save money this year, or I want to get closer to God this year. But we fail to implement practical steps to ever hit those resolutions. Matthew 5 verses 33 through 37 says this. I ain't no journalist, but y'all know what's up. It says, again, you have heard that it is said to the people long ago, do not break your oath, but fulfill to the Lord the vows you have made. But I tell you, do not swear an oath at all, either by heaven, for it is God's throne, or by earth, for it is his footstool, or by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. And do not swear by your head, for you cannot make even one hair white or black. All you need to say is simply yes or no. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one. And the King James Version says, let your yes be yes or your no be no. Either you're going to do it and be committed to it, or you're not. Don't get blown away by people who say stuff like, I swear to God, and I put that on my mama, and this, that, and the other. Let me put you on game real quick. People who have to swear by things do so because nobody believes the words that are coming out of their mouth. When something comes out of their mouth, you can't take it to the bank, and they have lost all credibility with the general public. But as believers, we're called to have integrity. Don't be the person obsessed with some days when you know that someday is really a never. Now, what I'm convinced we should do is make goals, because goals are different than resolutions, because they involve planning. You pray about it, set the desired outcome, and start implementing steps to hit that desired outcome. Let's look at Luke chapter 14 verses 28 through 30. Jesus says, suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? For if you lay a foundation and are not able to finish it, everyone who sees it will ridicule you, saying, this person began to build and wasn't able to finish. Don't just aimlessly start throwing out half-cocked resolutions. Be sober-minded and plan your goals. James 4 verses 13 through 15 says this. Now listen, you who say today or tomorrow we will go to this or that city, spend a year there, carry on business, and make money. Why? You do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that. I'm gonna couple that with Proverbs 16:9. It says, in their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. Meaning, man makes plans, but it's God that brings those things to pass. If God didn't teach us nothing else in 2020, one thing he taught us is that we are not in control. We can make all these grandiose plans, but at the end of the day, it's the sovereign will of God that trumps everything. This is one of the reasons why I made the video, Should Christians Manifest? Y'all check it out after the video. If this is adding value to your life at all, hit that subscribe button and like this video. One of the best ways to bring integrity to your plans is to write them down. Now, I know that sounds old-fashioned, but it's true. Listen, we're humans and we're made up of 5 senses, right? And the more senses you can tie to a thing, the more realistic it becomes in your mind. So if you write it down, that's one sense of feeling. If you say it, that's the second sense. And if you hear it, that's the third. So that's 3 senses we've now tied to something, making it seem attainable within our minds. And if we don't see it in our minds, it becomes very difficult for it to ever become a reality. Secondly, start small and scale up. The number one reason why people give up on things is because the task seems too great. It's noble to say, I'm going to save $5,000 a year. Okay, cool. But if you're starting from not saving anything at all, you might want to learn how to save $100 or $200 a month before you start looking at saving $5,000 a year, and just build your way up to that. Lastly, tell somebody. Accountability goes a long way, because now you have someone outside of yourself who knows about your plans. Now, let me tell you something. You got to be careful, because you can't tell everybody your plans. Make sure it's somebody that you trust and you love, and it's going to encourage you along the way instead of discourage you. Just look at Joseph back in the Old Testament. That's all I got to say. So let's not throw out cheap resolutions, but let us be intentional in our goal setting and understand that if we set a goal and we don't hit it, it won't be because we were lazy. It won't be because we didn't put forth enough effort. It'll be simply because it was not God's will. Happy New Year, y'all. Let's chop it up in the comments. Y'all take care.